Whether it's an extended camping trip or an afternoon drive in the country, road trips are part of the North American cultural fabric. The state of Oregon has some of the most beautiful wilderness in the entire United States. Wes Germer and his brother Woody have explored a lot of it.
I felt like we had been everywhere, we'd seen everything.
They've also encountered their fair share of wildlife.
Out here in the Pacific Northwest, about the only thing you run into is cougars and black bears. And that's about it. That's all I thought there was.
But Wes is about to discover that's not the case.
Once in a while, a case comes to light regarding travelers who find themselves on a road that they've never taken before, and it turns out to be dangerous.
Wes and Woody are heading out for a midnight drive to clear their heads and put recent events in perspective.
My dad had died of cancer, and I'd been out of work, and it was a rough year, probably the worst year of my life. My brother had sent me a text and asked me if I was awake, and I told him I was, and told him to come on over. And, you know, I wear more of my heart on my sleeve than he does. And I said, you know, do you want to go for a drive? Do you just want to get out of here and go for a ride? We wanted to get out in the middle of nowhere and just go talk about things. We were on these back country roads. There was really no purpose. We weren't heading a certain direction. I'd never actually gone into this particular area. There's no cell phone reception. It's dark. It's dense forest, very, very dense forest. It's very secluded. No one really goes out there.
This is the last place in the world they expect to run into anyone or anything.
Every situation is different, depending on the entity, depending on the location. There's a lot of unknowns. Anything can happen.
Jeez, the road is a mess. There's potholes, it's eroding.
Jeez, this is impossible.
Imagine the worst road possible, and that's the road we were going down. You really can't go over like 10 miles an hour on this road. It's very treacherous. Now it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I really don't want to go down this road. I really don't want to get stuck out here. I'm getting tired. I'm ready to go home and wrap things up.
You think we should go back? Not really. I don't know if we can go any further, Woody. I don't know. I don't want to go home yet. We just got out here.
As they push on, Wes senses that there is something outside in the darkness.
As we came up to this game trail, I had a sense like we were being watched. I just had a sense something wasn't right, and I couldn't really put my finger on it. When he turned the car off, it's dead silent out there. You can hear a pin drop. Something's not right. Something's not right here.
Woody, we should go back. Where do you want me to turn around? I don't know. Take a look.
I've run around in these woods my whole life. Never once had a feeling like that.
Now, as Woody searches for a spot to safely maneuver the vehicle back the way they came,
Woody, what are you doing?
Wes suddenly fears for his brother's safety.
Woody, just get back in the car.
I started yelling at him to get back in the car, get back in the car.
Woody, where are you going? I gotta find somewhere to turn this around.
I told him, just listen.
You hear that?
What?
Woody, get back in the car. Woody, come on.
We heard footsteps coming in. There's a tree line and it's very dense forest, and you could hear something walking towards the car. It wasn't a bear, it wasn't a deer. It sounded like it was upright walking towards the car. And I couldn't place what it was. I couldn't place what was coming in. On my side of the car, you heard step, 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 stop, step, 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 stop.
Woody, get in the car.
Wes hears something else coming from the opposite direction.
So on his side of the car, you'd hear step, 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 and it sounded big. But whatever it was that night, it sounded like it was on 2 legs, and it didn't sound like a bear. Something wasn't right. And we're pinned down this game trail.
It's a good thing the brothers didn't venture out into the woods without weapons.
I hate to sound like a bunch of hillbillies, but we had guns in the car. I don't know if we were hunting prior to that or if we were out target shooting. And I grabbed my gun, and I grabbed his pistol and handed it to him.
Here, take this. Did you hear that? Woody, get in the car.
Whatever is out there, it doesn't like intruders.
It's my belief that all entities are territorial by nature. If for some reason a spirit or a creature of some unknown type has laid claim to this stretch of road and objects to you using it, my advice would be to hurry off of it as quickly and safely as possible.
You could hear this thing just coming.
Woody, get in the car now.
I put one in the chamber, and my mentality at the time was if they're gonna fight, we'll give them a fight.
They might be ready for a fight, but they have no idea what is coming for them.
What is that?
You always want to be prepared. If you're heading into unknown territory, you have no idea what's about to happen. You have no idea what you're going to encounter. It's possible that you may make a wrong turn and end up somewhere where you're not supposed to be.
Wes Germer and his brother Woody head out for a quiet drive in the woods, but it doesn't go as planned.
A lot changed that night.
Now they are cornered by a mysterious presence. They can't see what it is, but it's heading right for them.
Did you hear that?
My brother goes, "Did you hear the growl?" It's not a growl I've ever heard before. This thing moves up about 5 or 6 feet and growls again at us. The growl that I heard the second time, he had emotion behind it. It wasn't like, like when your dog growls. It has one growl, whether it's agitated, mad, scared. Their growls don't change. This growl changed, and it sounded pissed.
Woody, get in the car now.
It growls at us a 3rd time. And it even sounded more pissed than it did the first 2. It sounded like every time it came up, it was getting more and more angry. It growls again. And I felt that growl. I physically felt that growl. And that sounds crazy, but I physically felt that growl.
Come on, let's go.
And I'm trying to tell Woody to start the car, and I want to leave. I want to go at this point. I don't want to be here anymore.
I can't turn around. I don't care, just back up.
Back up and let's go. I'm done. I'm done. Whatever's going on here, I want nothing to do. Because this wasn't a bear. It was nothing I'd ever heard.
Come on, Woody, hurry.
I look over at my brother, and his eyes are about as big as saucers. And his hands are shaking. I feel like I'd been hit with a baseball bat. I feel like I'd been hit with a sound wave. And that sounds crazy, but It's the only way I could describe the growl, almost demonic. And he starts the car, starts slowly backing up, and we're backing out of that game trail back to the main road.
Come on, Woody, go.
I can't go any faster.
The brothers are terrified
Come on, Woody.
and still don't know what they're struggling to get away from.
And the whole time I'm thinking, please don't hit the thing, please don't hit the thing, please don't hit the thing. And I'm shaking at this point. I mean, I wish I could articulate enough how much we felt that growl, and it's so hard to articulate that.
They finally reach a spot to safely turn the vehicle around.
He drives about 20, 30 feet, and he stops the car.
But their escape is derailed when Woody is gripped by a full-fledged panic attack.
Woody, what's wrong with you?
I start yelling at him. What are you doing? Why are we stopping? He said, I can't drive. I need a minute. I need a minute too. And his hands were shaking to me. I just need a minute.
But stopping in the middle of nowhere is not a good idea. Now they are sitting ducks.
Okay, Woody, just breathe. Woody, breathe,
I
relax.
can't tell you how long we sat there, but I look over at Woody, and he leans over to me, and he says, do you see this? Do you see what I'm looking at?
What is that? Look. What's that? What is that?
And it was looking at us, and it was very jerky motions. It would shift from one side to the other. We could hear this thing breathing. I don't know how to describe the breathing. It sounded like Darth Vader. It sounded like a sick bear. It would breathe in just as hard as it would breathe out. I'm starting to freak out at this point, and I'm thinking my mind's getting the best of me.
Wes soon realizes there is more to be afraid of than what's in front of them. Because whatever it is, it's not alone.
We're surrounded.
My brother leaned over to me and he said, I think we're being surrounded again. Something's behind the car. I see like a black flash behind the car. I couldn't tell you how big it was, I just see a flash. We both looked back out the window. The thing's gone. Whatever it was just gone. It wasn't there anymore. And I just said, you know what, I don't want to be here anymore. I want to leave. Let's go. I'm done.
Woody. Woody.
Right as we were getting ready to take off,
Drive now.
Just as suddenly as it disappeared, the creature is back, and angrier than ever.
this thing stepped out in the road. And it was the biggest thing I'd ever seen in my life. It was huge. It stood about 9.5 feet tall. I didn't really know what we were looking at the time. I was thinking monster. It had huge arms. The one thing that caught my attention the most was the shoulders on this thing. The shoulders were just wide. I couldn't believe how big the shoulders were on this thing.
Shocked as they are, the brothers realize what they're up against.
It was Bigfoot.
Bigfoot, like any creature, are territorial. They want control of their area, so any intrusions or anything uninvited, they are going to do whatever they need to do to stop that.
And I thought for sure it was going to charge us. I was sitting there thinking it was going to charge us. We still had our guns out, and I'm thinking, please don't charge the car. Please don't charge the car.
I have to go now.
Wes Germer and his brother Woody head out for a midnight drive to the middle of nowhere. And now, they are face to face with an angry Bigfoot.
Every culture on every continent seems to have a legend of something we would associate as being a Bigfoot. Anybody who goes out in a fairly remote part of the woods does have a chance to run into a creature like this because they are pretty much all over the place. There are vast forests in the state of Washington and the Pacific Northwest and up into Canada. Who can say what lives in there? There have been reports of violent acts by Sasquatch. There have been reports of hunters gone missing, of hunters found brutally killed, and there's a lot of big barefoot type footprints in the area. No amount of survival skills that you have can ever prepare you for being in the presence of something huge in the middle of the woods at night that could rip your lungs out.
The brothers are alone against the legendary beast. And even though they are armed, it won't do much good.
There's no way a bullet is gonna get through that thing.
The common gun or rifle used to hunt small game and animal life may not be adequate enough to take on a creature 3 to 4 times the size of a moose.
That's gonna shred us apart, Woody.
You need to assess the situation. It is likely that if you engage and you're unable to defeat, that you're just going to agitate it, you're just going to make it more angry, and you're going to make your situation a hell of a lot worse.
What do we do, Woody? We gotta go.
Woody was saying he wanted to leave, he wanted to go, and I was saying, don't drive past this thing, don't drive past this thing. Please don't drive past this thing.
That's gonna shred right through our car.
This is the only road in and out of this place, so it's not like we can just turn around and go the opposite way. We now have to go past this thing to get out of here. I'm begging him, don't drive past this thing.
We gotta drive past it. We have no choice.
And the biggest fear I had was it would grab the side of the car and flip it over.
That's gonna tear the car apart.
If Wes and Woody think they're in trouble now, they haven't seen anything yet.
And as we're sitting there, all our attention is on this thing. And out of the corner of my eye, I see this other one.
There's 2.
Now, they are confronted with 2 threatening Bigfoots.
2.
I would say was female, but I don't know.
They think it must be Bigfoot's mate. And nothing is more dangerous than a beast protecting its partner.
Bigfoot could be a combination between a creature, an animal, and a human. We do know that a creature or an animal will protect their den, and we do know that a human will protect their family. So imagine a combination of both and you disturbing their family. It will do everything that they need to do to protect their family above anything else.
What do you want me to do?
He went down to all 4s, but it wasn't like you would see a person get down to all 4s. It was like that. He was down on all 4s, just collapsed like a spider. And he crawled down to the middle of the road. I still had my finger on the trigger, and my hands were shaking.
What do you drive? Drive, that's it.
It sounds crazy, man. That's what happened. It jumps across the road like a trampoline. And then he went off into the bushes and he was gone.
Okay. Drive.
Bigfoot and his mate might be gone,
Drive, Woody.
but they could come back any second.
And I told Woody, go, 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 get us out of here. Go, go, go. We ended up doing like 60 miles an hour down this mountain. To this day, I don't know how we didn't crash, but we just gunned it down this mountain.
As horrifying as the encounter was, Woody insists on returning in search of proof of what they've seen. It's the last thing Wes wants to do, but he can't let his brother go out there alone.
It was about a month later we went back. And my brother had dragged me up there, and I really didn't want to be there. I never got out of the car. I refused to get out of the car. He actually found a footprint.
Check this out.
Going up the area, almost where our car had been parked, you'd see where it had actually gone back up, and it was going up the mountain, and it was just a 1 footprint right in the mud. It had 5 toes and it was really wide and boxy.
Come on, Woody, I want to go home.
Even though their adventure only lasted a few hours, it has an enduring impact.
For the first couple months, I would have nightmares about the encounter. Every time I closed my eyes, I would hear the growl. Or I would see it in the road.
We have to go.
It was traumatizing, to say the least.
After their road trip leads Wes and his brother to an encounter with Bigfoot.
We have to go now.
His passion for the great outdoors is finished.
I gave up hunting. For the most part, I gave up camping. I'll go every once in a while, but not like I used to. Not a big fan of hiking. It's changed my worldview. It made me realize that maybe we don't know everything that's out there.